So today I thought I'd start or I do a different video. I wanted to talk about my sketching journey because I've received a few questions about that, or people were wondering how I started sketching and how I started to be more comfortable with my sketchbook. Sketching has always been tied with my depression. If you're someone who's been diagnosed with depression or know someone who's suffering from depression, you would know how depression comes with its own fatigue, with kind of inability to do things in life. And I remember, I think it's the winter of 2022 or 2021. It was a winter in Toronto, and it was one of those Canadian winters that, like there's no sun anymore, and it just it was more of like the seasonal depression layered with chronic depression. And I remember I just couldn't get out of bed anymore, and I was in bed all the time with my cat Gavin, who loved it, and we were in bed like the whole time, and all I could do is just have the TV on and just watch something. And I couldn't, I kind of reached the point where I couldn't even so it reached the point that I couldn't even go to the kitchen. I couldn't make myself something to eat. I couldn't function normally, and I would just be watching YouTube. And I remember Sandi kind of came on. Sandi has this really huge energy and really very endearing kind of personality, and her sketching is amazing. Like when you watch her, you feel like you need to go and sketch. And I remember kind of watching her, and I don't know, like something in me started to kind of wake up, and I just felt like I wanted to sketch. I had to go look for my sketchbooks because they were discarded like somewhere. And I brought my sketchbooks, and over time I started to have a pile of sketchbooks near my bed, and all over like my bed, and all these like colored pencils and paint and whatever. And I think at the beginning I couldn't even have the mental capacity to like have paint and dilute it with water and all of that. Like all I could do is just use like colored pencils and pastels and things that are really easy to use and to store and to work with. So I remember starting to sketch, and I wasn't really like sketching anything in particular. I think like I was just using some blobs on the paper and just sketching faces, because this is what I usually like to do. Like usually if you doodle, like most of the time you tend to doodle like the same thing. So I just ended up making pages and pages of faces, and it was more of like mindless sketching. Like I wasn't trying to sketch something amazing or to show my sketchbook to anybody. And my sketchbook, like it was the messy sketchbook, and I remember like I used to use it before for my day job. I used to work as a graphic designer, so and at the time I remember even kind of giving up on being an artist or like doing art. So the sketchbooks that I bought before to do my art, I just used as a notebook for work. So these same sketchbooks, like I started to like sketch over my work pages and just honestly just mindlessly sketching, because I wasn't, like depression like makes you feel like you're dead, but at the same time you're still alive. So it just makes you feel too tired to do anything. So you're too tired to even think. And for me, just sketching the same thing over and over again was just helpful, because I didn't have the capacity to like think of a prompt. I just wanted to feel good, because depression feels terrible. Like sometimes it doesn't feel like anything. You just feel numb to everything. And this is the thing, like you feel numb to everything. Like nothing can actually make you get out of bed or make you feel excited. And the only thing at this point was just watching Sandi. That was the excitement of the day. And granted, like I didn't look excited. Like I was just basically just with the lowest energy that I could have. I would just be sketching and just drawing faces. And I think sometimes, like now that I look back, I can look at those faces and know that because the faces had different expressions, like have different kind of attitudes and things like that, and it somehow made me feel a little bit happier, or just for the first time in a long time I felt a little bit happy, or what I would describe as happiness compared to what I was feeling before. And then over time I just became more addicted to it. Like it became the thing that would make me maybe not get out of bed, but maybe sit up in bed. And over time, like, you start to have this excitement. It was very kind of oddly kind of satisfying. Like I would feel satisfied, like I did something good, even though I wouldn't do anything else other than that, and watch Sandi. And over time this started to like bring life into me. Like I started to wake up knowing that I can do this. Like I can wake up and just sketch, even though it doesn't matter to anybody else. At the time I guess my logical mind was turned off because it was just depressed. So I wouldn't be thinking, oh, like the sketchbook is not gonna bring me money, etc., so I shouldn't do it. I was just genuinely happy doing it, because one of the things that someone would struggle with when it comes to depression is that you don't feel like you have something to wake up to. Like you don't have a reason to wake up, or I don't want to be like too depressing or triggering, but you don't have a reason to live. Like you don't feel like there's anything that moves anything in you. And sketching, I think, kind of did that. Like it kind of moved something in me, and over time I started to sit up more straighter and like get more into it. Like before, started with very low energy, barely like setting up, or just the laziest way of sketching. And over time I started to be more excited, and not only that, just be more engaged with it. Like be more sketching and really being excited about the sketching and genuinely enjoying it. And I think I needed that, because without it, over a long period of time, it just gets you more and more into depression. Yeah, over time I ended up finding all the art supplies that I bought over the years and never really used, and all the sketchbooks that were never used. And over time I started to finish them, and I started to just feel like this is a great accomplishment, even though it wasn't an accomplishment in the sense of the world, or wasn't like, it wouldn't be something that I would boast about to like somebody else, but it was my own accomplishment. And I think I kind of needed that. I needed a reason to live, or a reason to want to live, basically. And then over time things started to get better, or things started to, like, I wouldn't say, like, I would like to say something, so this is not so I don't feel like I'm giving any kind of medical advice. Sketching helped me, but at the same time everybody's different, everybody's depression is different. What is going to make you feel alive is going to be different. I'm just sharing like my story and what helped me feel alive, and therefore helped me helped me manage my depression, helped me fight to live. Because the thing about depression, you feel like you're having this quiet, boring fight that doesn't feel like anything is happening, but you're still awake and you're still trying to like be present. This is what it is, maybe, that when you have it on paper, something that is physical, not especially in the digital world where everything is an app and everything is like double tap and like and all of that, having something physical in my hand that, yes, so messy, the colors are all wrong, the faces, whatever, but it is something that I could tangibly, like something tangible that I could physically hold and look at, and this made a big difference. Over time things started to like get better. Obviously for me it wasn't only like the sketchbooks. I also had medications, I had like medical care, I had therapy sessions, so over time that helped. But I think the sketching helped before all of that came in, before I had access. And I think maybe I was taking an antidepressant, but it was not the right one, and it was prescribed by my general doctor. And if you're someone who is going through something similar, you would know that being referred for your general doctor to the specialist, it takes time. and in the meantime, like, you need to figure out a way to like live. It was never a conscious thought. The thing is that I really loved about the sketching, even when I started to go back to my studio. If you don't know, I am a ceramic artist, so most of my work is with clay. I used to do more illustrations and series before, and then like my work moved when I got to know the clay and I started to work with the clay. So I basically kind of paint on it. So my sketching eventually also helped me be more creative with my ceramics, and maybe I'm gonna do a video about it later. I did do a video before about it. It's not the best, but I'm gonna link it. Anyways, because it was kind of subconscious, now looking back, I feel like I was drawing bananas and things like that, and a lot of people keep asking me like why do you love bananas that much? And I think it's just, there's something funny about it, even just to sketch something that is so mundane like a banana, and just try it in different ways, and most importantly something that is really easy. Like a banana is just something like really easy to sketch, like there's no challenge, I guess. Because you are not in a space to be challenged. Like for you to even set up is a big challenge. So over time, when I started to get back to the studio, the sketching became also a big part of it. Like I would be craving to go back home and to sketch. And I remember like I used to have very insane studio hours, because also like the studio is where I felt alive. The studio was my happy place, you know, the place that I would, from the moment that I wake up, and I remember that I would wake up at 6 or 7, and I would immediately feel like I need to go there and to work. And I would work, and I would stay at the studio like the whole day, most of the time until midnight, until like 1 p.m. And I would be, sometimes like I wouldn't stop working until I'm like dozing off. And I remember like I used to live like 30 minutes away from my studio, and through this 30 minutes I'll be trying to like wake myself up so I can get to sketch before I go to bed. And for me, like the sketching was a very important part of the day, because it was my time, the time that it was only like kind of for me. I know now that I have a YouTube channel, so I do share it with other people, and this also changed like my sketching, which again I might share in a different video. But yeah, sketching became like, I had an insane schedule, because I realized doing art, whether it's sketching, whether it's working in my studio, was the only thing that was keeping me alive, like make me feel like I'm living, because being alive and living are two different things. And I was alive but depressed, so I wanted to be living, so I would want to live. So I remember even when I wasn't at the studio, I would just start to have like severe anxiety. Like I wouldn't be able to like to breathe, and I would be like in my apartment, like on the floor, trying to like breathe and to gasp for air. And I knew that if I could make myself go to the studio, I would feel better. And that was always true. Like I would struggle to like get myself up and go to the studio, and at the studio I will just go back to like normal, you know. The same thing with the sketching, and the sketching was very like, I would be engrossed in it. I will just be sketching like it was for my survival. And in a sense I was, because I felt like I needed it to survive, basically. When something becomes a part of your life, then it starts to like grow with you, right? So I remember like there were moments that the sketching moved from being something that is very private and something that I would do alone in my bedroom, in my messy bedroom with my cat, to starting to have the audacity to do it in front of other people. And I remember that happened, that I was in an art event. The thing about art events, that you would be at the venue for the whole day. And I remember it was one of those art events that they will take like a whole week or 2 weeks, or so you have to be at the venue like the whole time, and you don't always have people coming into your booth to see your stuff. So I had a lot of time, and then I decided to like bring my sketchbook and to sketch there. And even though, again, I wasn't sketching anything fantastic, like I was just having those faces over and over with my colored pencil, because I could just put it in my pocket and I didn't need to like have paint and like do like kind of all of those things. I remember that moment because I didn't think that I would be able to like sketch in front of other people, but because I would be being afraid of their judgment, that I'm not doing anything amazing, etc. But I noticed that people were actually excited to like see me excited to sketch. I think people can tell when you're doing something that you love and something that you enjoy, because there's a different energy and there's a different kind of focus on it. And I think after doing that in that event, I became more comfortable sketching in like public. And actually one of my best times was like summer times. Like I would always be at any park and I would just be sketching, and it was just nice to do something that you love, and in a way kind of share it with other people, like be part of this park where there are kids playing, there are people, you know, just laying out in the sun or whatever, and you're just kind of part of that and doing something that you actually love. And it just became this from a very private thing to semi-private, and at the same time there's some kind of social thing. Like I'm not necessarily kind of interacting with people, but you just feel alive, and I think, or you feel like you are here, like you're part of this, whatever is happening at the park, or you're part of society in like some weird way. And this was important for my depression as well, because depression, you just feel like you're just isolated. You don't feel like you're part of anything. You don't feel basically any kind of connection with anybody. And having this weird connection that is not like, we're not actively talking or interacting, I'm just sitting and sketching as part of a whole group of like people that are doing kind of different things. This small thing just makes you feel like you are part of life, you know. And that for me was also another step that helped me with my depression. After a lot of months, sketching became a fixed feature of my day. It was something that I cannot go a day without sketching. It was literally important for my survival. For me, I would make sure that I get to sketch more than I would make sure that I would get to eat. And having my studio and also my sketchbooks really helped me mentally, especially before like you start getting the right treatment, the right medications, the right doses, because it's like a long journey. And again, if anyone who has been like in this journey with doctors and with especially with medications, because medications in like kind of in themselves is a journey. There are side effects and there are medications that are not going to agree with you, and there are, you know, it just a journey basically. Honestly, I do owe like my current kind of mental health, a lot of it I do owe it to my studio, to my sketchbooks, and to Sandi as well, because I feel like Sandi was like the gateway that was like, okay, so we have like a magical world here and you can come with me and I can show you. And that was like the beginning of something that I never thought that I will ever be on YouTube sharing my sketchbooks, because, and even when I started sharing, I was expecting people to like say what what kind of drawing is this, etc. Especially in the space of YouTube, where the kind of art that exists on YouTube, I feel is more the kind of realistic art, the kind of, you know, putting a lot of effort into your drawing sessions to get better. So I felt like I was a little bit of an imposter or a fraud, because my my aim wasn't really to like get better or to learn how to draw a hand or any of that. I just wanted to really have fun, so I ended up just sketching things over and over, bananas and faces and things that would make, or like a vase of flowers, things that would just make me feel happy. And it was a very like selfish act, which I don't mind, because I feel like art in general for an artist is a selfish act, because you are just basically doing what you love and deciding that this is worth sharing. And I think in an essence, to me, this is what art is, because just like everything else, like art is different to like different people. Some people feel like you can only be an artist unless you can really draw like realistically everything, and I kind of disagree with that, because I feel like these are skills, just like the skill to like throw on the wheel, like these are skills which are different than what to me is like real art. Like real art for me is just this thing that you do with excitement, and you do with, and you're trying to do something that is your own, other than, oh, I'm just trying to follow, like trying to make something realistic. Because for me, say I draw someone kind of in a realistic way, I didn't add anything new. Like I didn't bring anything else other than, okay, like showing people that I have the skills. And for me, that's kind of more, again, like in the skill level other than in the art creative level. For me, a lot of people might disagree, and I can see on YouTube that a lot of people do things a little bit differently, that things have to like kind of look in a specific kind of YouTube way, which is great, but this is not what I wanted to do, and I felt like I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So yeah, like I did receive like some of these comments with people like, I'm sorry, but drawing is not your thing, etc., etc. So that was expected. Part of me would say that they are right, but I'm really thankful that the majority of people on YouTube, or the people who follow me, actually do get what I'm doing, or do get excited for what I get excited for. And that was the surprise of YouTube that I didn't expect, because YouTube, my initial thought of it was, it's like, the people, like the place where people leave like the meanest comments. I was feeling blessed, honestly, because, or actually like genuinely surprised that the majority of the comments were actually, or the feedback was actually good, or encouraging, or at least basically people saying that we see you, or we get it. Because the other thing about art is that not everyone is going to like it, because unless like you're doing something really kind of commercial, or something that, like kind of the cliche things, but just like everything, like it's not for everyone. And to find kind of your people, or the people that go like, oh, I like that, or okay, I like bananas, but maybe stop drawing bananas. Thankfully, I am in a place in my life where I can actually, like, I'm no longer surviving, like I'm actually living, which is something that I'm beyond grateful for. Just, it's not kind of lost on me, like all the little steps that got me here. And now I feel like, okay, now I think I'm ready to get out of my comfort zone and stop drawing bananas over and over again, and faces over and over. I'm still gonna sketch them and draw them, but I think now I'm in the right space to like start exploring more. So yeah, this is my journey that's still ongoing, because I would like to make another video of where I am with my sketching journey, because I don't know, YouTube kind of changed the dynamic a little bit, and also again, being well mentally is great, but also kind of changed my relationship with my sketchbooks, which I will share in another video. But I thought to share with you how I started with the sketching and how it helped me. It didn't only help me, but actually kind of changed everything. Like it changed everything in my life. It just helped me find something that I didn't think that I would want, or something that I didn't think that I would get even. And I thought maybe like to share this, because if someone feels like kind of wanting to sketch, but having this idea that, oh, I'm not an artist or whatever, it's just really difficult to define what art is. So, and I feel like if you believe that art is a personal journey, because even if you like kind of someone else's work, this is like your own kind of personal connection to it. So I feel if we just forget about being an artist and all these labels, and we just start to, if we feel like sketching, or we feel like picking up a sketchbook, maybe it's just like a good idea to just kind of go with it. The other thing, sometimes like our brain kind of works kind of too much, like it try to analyze this situation, it try to tell us why, and you know, like we need to do the dishes, we need to do this, we need to do that, and the sketchbook is like not like we just scribbled, like it's not anything important, etc. Sometimes it's just good to like switch that off and just go with how you feel. Like if you feel like wanting to do something, or feeling intrigued by something, or interested in something, there might be kind of something there. And I think I'm thankful for my depression that it automatically kind of switched off my brain. Honestly, it kind of switched off everything basically, but something was awakened by Sandi, I guess, and by sketchbooks and by the paint and all of that, and just like it changed everything in my life in a positive way. I thought maybe sharing this story would help someone who is intrigued by it, but at the same time afraid of it. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate the small mighty community that I have on YouTube. I do appreciate that you're always patient on my uploading, because I'm not always very consistent. I do my best, but sometimes I just can't. So I do appreciate that people still kind of stick around. People are still encouraging and are still around, you know, and I know it's a different video than the videos that I usually share. I am actually in a weird place with my YouTube channel. I'm trying to like think things over and see what are the things that I would like to share and what are the things that are worth sharing. I do love it because I know how things are on YouTube. Maybe if I had a huge channel, I'm not gonna have the same community. So yeah, it's because of my sketching that I started to like post it on YouTube, and because of that I started to like have this community, you know, that is small, but I do love it small, honestly. And I would like to thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to share it, like it, do all the YouTube thing, I would really appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.